On the 4th of April 2026, the fashion world gathered in New York City for a film. The film is called Brunello, a gracious visionary. In Italian, il visionario garbato. Garbato is one of those Italian words that English never fully captures. To me, it means gracious, but also measured and refined. The film was made by Giuseppe Tornatore, the man behind Cinema Paradiso. And when a director like that chooses to tell your story, you understand immediately this is no longer just fashion. This is Italian culture. Because Brunello Cucinelli never built his world through noise, scandals, or reinvention every 6 months. He built it through conviction. But to understand why so many men are drawn to this brand, you cannot begin in New York. You have to begin in Umbria, on a hill, in a tiny village called Solomeo. It's not just a location, an almost abandoned medieval hamlet outside Perugia. He moved his company there and slowly rebuilt it. A theatre, gardens, schools for artisans, places dedicated to beauty. Not because it looked good for marketing, because he genuinely believed beauty improves human beings. Solomeo is to Brunello Cucinelli what Camelot was to John Fitzgerald Kennedy, except that Solomeo is very, very real. I've never been to Solomeo, but I've been going to Pitti Uomo with my father. Long before I understood anything about fashion, I remember noticing the Brunello Cucinelli world felt different. I got the sense that this wasn't just another menswear brand, and now I understand why. Twice a year, Florence becomes the center of the menswear world. Pitti Uomo, 4 days where everybody seems desperate to be noticed. And every edition, Cucinelli somehow stands apart from all of it. At Pitti, his presentation often feels less like fashion events and more like conversations.
Quindi io personalmente mi piace moltissimo, però quando costruiamo una collezione abbiamo bisogno, io ho 72 anni e qualche mese, abbiamo bisogno di un 72enne, un 50enne, un 40enne, un 30enne, vi dico una cosa solo per chiara. Avevano presentato i ragazzi, trovate questo Galles, no? Dice, ma che bello, io onestamente l'ho portato 45 anni fa, siete sicuri che è bello? E i ragazzi dicono sì, l'avevamo un anno portato. Quindi se abbiamo il coraggio di ascoltare, probabilmente siamo anche un po' più contemporanei.
Toby, the same question to you. Modern menswear, what does it mean to you?
I didn't catch everything. Well, understand everything that Brunello said. I think he repeated some of the things that we talked about on the stand this morning. Modern menswear.
Abbiamo bisogno di educazione, di garbo, di gentilezza, di un'arroganza, questo sicuramente. Come possiamo fare? Dobbiamo essere diversi, dobbiamo convincere i giovani a fare certi lavori, però per fare questo dobbiamo essere credibili, perché se non sei credibile non sei vero, no? Marco Aurelio a un certo punto avete visto nel Gladiatore, bellissima l'atmosfera, quando quando lui ha la guerra contro i germanici e si dice a se stesso: che gli dico a questi soldati? Poi scende al campo e gli dice: o mi è coloni dell'impero romano, domani Roma ha bisogno di lui, che Dio ci protegga. E solo o mi è estimati uomini dell'impero romano. Allora dobbiamo avere il coraggio di insieme.
He calls it humanistic capitalism, which sounds philosophical until you realize it becomes very practical very quickly. Higher wages for artisans, controlled working hours, limits on expansions, respect for life outside work. Things that sound almost revolutionary in modern fashion. Especially luxury fashion, because some companies talk endlessly about craftsmanship while squeezing the people actually making the products. We've seen the news of brands using what can only be described as sweatshops based in Prato, Tuscany. They exonerate themselves by blaming their subcontractors. Cucinelli built an empire doing the opposite, just beautiful materials, beautifully handled. And of course, there is always one question surrounding Brunello Cucinelli, the price. People look at a sweater or a jacket and immediately ask, how can this possibly cost that much? But I think the more interesting question is, what does it cost to make something properly now? Real materials, factories that are not hidden away and forgotten. No shortcuts buried deep inside the supply chain where nobody can see them. That is increasingly rare. A cashmere coat bought at 40 still looks right at 60. Maybe even better. This is not accidental. This is the design philosophy. When a man wears Brunello Cucinelli, he is not really wearing fashion. He is wearing an idea. That beauty matters, that craftsmanship matters, that dignity matters. A very Italian idea. The village on the hill is still there. The artisans are still working. And after 40 years, the world finally seems to understand what Brunello Cucinelli was trying to prove all along. That luxury without humanity is not luxury at all. If you enjoy this style, subscribe. A new one arrives every Friday. And if you know a man who understands that less is more, send him this video. Brunello Cucinelli talks about dressing with intention. The best place we know to watch what that actually looks like in practice is Pitti Uomo. We were there for edition 108. That's coming up next. Grazie, a venerdì.